Welcome back to the Get Well with Me podcast. I am your host and your hypnotist, Adrianne Hart, and together we explore the healing powers of our subconscious mind while leaning in towards a healthier lifestyle. And I am here to share with you a little pre talk, a little pep talk on self discipline because I am in the middle of recording the next, well, not recording, editing the next episode of the Get Well with Me podcast. I think it's going to be episode 215. And I love it so much. And as a matter of fact, while I was editing it, I was trancing out as I always do. Of course, listening to a hypnosis session is always hypnotic, but something about like staring at the audio on the audio editor really zones me out. And as I was zoning out, I was thinking about some of my philosophies around self-discipline. So, in addition to going to sleep with a hypnosis recording in my mind, in my ears, almost every single night, either mine or someone else's, I thought, I do have some hot tips. How do we stick to the things that we say that we're going to do? Right? Because when we break trust with ourselves and we say, I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to take a walk every day, and then I don't, we break that trust with ourselves. And then once that trust is broken with ourselves, we kind of get to this place in our mind where we say, what's the point? Like, what's the point? Why bother? And when you get to the why bother, then you're stuck, right? So let's move past why bother. The first thing is always have an answer to that question. So, whatever your goal is, you want to have an answer for that question because there is a part of you that will get to that moment where you don't feel like it or you're discouraged, whatever it may be, and you're going to say, why bother? So, why bother deserves an answer. And that answer could be something like, because you're worth it, because my health is worth it, because my self respect is worth it. Whatever it is, you can have your own answer. I'm not here to tell you what that answer is. The second thing is to hang up pictures in your own mind. And you might say, like, where does this concept come from? And if you notice, some of my hypnosis sessions actually do have you hang up pictures in your own mind that remind you of your success because the language of your subconscious mind is pictures. That's why we dream and it seems like it doesn't make sense, but at the time it does make sense because that is the language of your subconscious mind. So, hanging up pictures in your mind, where do I get this concept from? And I thought I would share that with you. So, in Christian Larson's book, which I have 7 of his books in this giant compilation here, in his book, what is the name of it? It is Your Forces and How to Use Them. As with most of his books, it's not a book about hypnosis. However, it's a book about hypnosis, like so many things, right? And he explains to you how to he explains that your mind is suggestible. And so we're either absorbing the suggestions from our environment around us or the agendas that people have for us, or we are using the power of our own mind to decide what it is that we want and then intentionally impressing our mind with that. And he gets to this part in chapter 18. I mean, just this chapter is super powerful, and it's called Imagination and the Mastermind. And when he says mastermind, he doesn't mean like the trendy thing that we do now, where it's like, I'm in a mastermind and I pay money to hang out with these cool people and learn things, because that's super common, and I'm totally for it. So I didn't mean that to sound condescending, even though it did. Um, Masterminds are awesome. The power of multiple people getting together with a similar intention and blending their creative ideas and energies is absolutely powerful, whether that's you and your best friend or you in a paid group, whatever that may be. However, in this context, mastermind means a person who has mastered their mind. And don't you want to identify as a person who has mastered their mind? Because what is possible for you when you master your mind? So he says, on the first page of chapter 18, Imagination and the Mastermind, we should always imagine ourselves obtaining success. The picture of success should be placed upon the walls of the mind so that the powers within us will see success and success only as their goal. Hang up pictures in your mind that will inspire you to do your best. Hang up pictures in your mind that will cause you to think constantly of that which you desire to accomplish. And this you may do by imagining yourself being that greater something that you want to be and doing that greater something that you want to do. So he goes on to say that an excellent practice is to use your spare moments in creating such pictures in your imagination and placing them in the most conspicuous position of your mind so that all of your faculties and powers can see them at all times. So that's like the concept that you hear people say, put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror with what it is that you want to accomplish, or maybe they say, like I say, put your healthy weight in front of you in a place that you'll see it every day, like right there in your underwear drawer, somewhere that you are sure to go. And it should say, my healthy weight is fill in the blank. I am healthy. So that's a physical representation of what we're talking about. But what Christian Larson is saying is to put pictures in your imagination in the most conspicuous spots, right? Like the places that you're going to see them all the time to impress your mind with more and more of who you want to be and more of those things that you want to do. So, how do we do that? There are great ways to do that. And of course, you know, my number one favorite way is to use the power of your spoken word, one, right? Because we can't always control all of our thoughts, but we do have the ability to control our words. Secondly, and by the way, your words are boomerangs and they will come back to you. So careful what you say. The second one is, of course, to leverage the hypnagogic state. The hypnagogic state is that magical time of night where you are drifting off to sleep. This is happening for you whether you like it or not. This is happening for you whether you know it or not. You are passing through hypnosis naturally on your way to sleep. That's essentially a great way to define trance or hypnosis. I'm not saying they're exactly the same thing. However, little grace for me here. As you pass through that time where you're kind of still awake and you're almost asleep, that is when your mind is extremely impressionable. And it is highly suggested by me that you cleanse your mind, get everything out of your mind that you don't want to dwell upon, that you don't want to embody, that you don't want to see come to being in your waking hours. So whatever that means for you. Some people, they just like imagine, crossing the day off the calendar or crumpling up that day and, all the disagreeable things that happened into like a little snowball and chucking it away. Just cleanse your mind. For you, that might just be taking a deep breath. Not trying to tell you how to do it. So after that, leverage that hypnagogic state of mind to impress your own mind with whatever it is. It's maybe you want to go to the gym, maybe you want to be a certain weight, maybe you want to make more prospect calls at work. Maybe you want to be soda free because you know the way it'll transform your body and your mind. Maybe you want to have healthier relationships. Maybe you want to take your business to the next level. Maybe you want to get a raise. Maybe you want to respond instead of react. The possibilities are endless. They are absolutely endless. And to me, the thing that I think troubles me the most is that we're all given a mind, and not everyone is being a good steward of that mind, meaning they're not managing and taking care of their own mind and using it for the greater good for themselves and others. And it's essentially your responsibility to do so, right? Because people have to be around you. They get to be around you. And what you're impressing your mind with has absolutely everything to do with how you speak and how you walk and how you conduct yourself out in the world. And if you're a giver instead of a taker, and nothing is concrete, we are moldable. It is proven that our minds are plastic, so to speak, and not in the literal sense, although it is proven we do have a lot of microplastics in our brain. Side trail. So I want to encourage you that no matter what your age is, no matter what your place is in life, no matter what your environment is, you can use your mind to have more and more of the life that you want to have and be more and more of the person that you want to be. And it's so interesting because I say that probably, I think I close almost every single hypnosis session with something to that effect, which I know you're my listeners, so you probably do know that. But um, it's interesting that sometimes I see the words that I use to paint on the canvas of your mind and my own mind, and I find them in these books that I read that have nothing to do with hypnosis. Because another thing that troubles me, wow, and I'm really just going off on a tangent here, but is that a lot of hypnotists, because I'm in a lot of hypnotist circles because I choose to continue to learn always, right? I want to know what is working, what is effective, what is quick, what is permanent. And it surprises me when I find out that hypnotists don't leverage the hypnagogic state every night. I am absolutely amazed. Like, if you really understood the power of the mind, how are you not programming your mind more nights than not? I mean, believe me, there's plenty of nights that I pass out and I don't put my headphones in and program my mind, but more nights than not, I do that. And I have been doing that. And when I tell you that that is the secret to my success, that is the secret to following through. Um, it is, right? It's the secret to my youthfulness and my optimism and my energy and my self-healing and my self-respect. And whatever the hiccup is in life, I use my mind to overcome it. Not to take away from faith, right? Because I don't forget the creator who gave me this wonderful mind. However, I have to be responsible for this mind and I get to use it for good. Okay, so getting to the final and last hack. Um, Something that I see people, I'm going to say do wrong, but I will leave a little bit of room there for everyone's different. And if it's working for you, keep doing it. So that's my disclosure on that. When you are after something for success, like for example, let's just use soda as an example. You want to be a non-soda drinker, maybe excellence, not perfection, not saying you're never having another soda again, but imagine like a month goes by and you just didn't even think about having one, or you thought about having one, but you were like, it's not really worth it. So if this is the example, right? What I would recommend that you do is track not the days that you drink the soda. I mean, think about that. If you're hanging up pictures in your mind, do we want to track the days that we did the thing that we said that we weren't going to do? No, we want to track the days that we were successful. So this is my calendar from last year, and I've maybe shared this with you guys before, but it's really important. So I want to share it with you again. So in May of 2024, I decided that I was going to do a certain, uh, that's crazy. The light just blocked. Sorry about that. Um, I decided that I was going to do a particular exercise and I made my goal really easy. Now that some people really love a tough challenge, but for me, consistency is key. Money grows on the tree of persistence. Health grows on the tree of persistence. Relationships grow on the tree of persistence. Everything good in life grows on the tree of persistence. Doing something one time is, I'm not going to say it's meaningless, but it is a drop in the bucket. Okay. One drop. We got to fill the bucket. And how do we do that? We do it day by day. So I'm not going to give you the details of what this exercise was, but let's just say it was 100 reps. Okay. 100. And it's something you could do. I mean, if each what could it possibly take? 5 minutes, right? I mean, 10 minutes? Not even. So I decided that, and I can see that I decided that on May 21st, 2024. And every time I did the thing that I said I was going to do, I put a little X on the calendar, right? And then the next month, I put a little X on the calendar. And then the next month, I put a little X on the calendar. And here where you see these stickers, I decided that I wanted to add another healthy habit. And I gave myself a sticker for every time that I completed that healthy habit. And now it's July 2025. And Have I been perfect? No, I haven't been perfect. Have I been excellent? Yes, I have. And what do you think that does for my self-respect to know that I can tell myself that I'm going to do something and then I'm going to do it? Okay, full disclosure. During a month like this, where it appears that I did not miss any days of completing my healthy habit, there were days that I didn't complete my healthy habit. Sometimes I felt under the weather. Other times I was making ridiculous excuses. Other times I was partying too much on the weekends. But you want to know what I did? I went back and I made them up because my goal was micro enough that I could make up for yesterday, today, and still put that X on the calendar and still feel good about myself. I'm not saying that you have to do it this way. The reason that I'm sharing this with you is because if you're tracking something, track what you're doing right. That is a way to hang up the pictures in your mind of success. Right? So if this calendar was filled with every single day that I didn't do the thing that I said that I was going to do, this would impress my brilliant unconscious mind with failure, with a lack of self-respect, right? I want to be if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? So if you're at that place where your self-discipline is waning, or you even identify as a person that doesn't have good self-discipline, or I'm a person who starts things and doesn't finish them, it's not too late for you. Right? Because there are areas of your life that you do the thing every single day because it is important to you. And when you impress your brilliant unconscious mind with that thing that you want to do and you convince it that it's worth it. And you convince it that when you do this thing, you're going to feel better. When you do this thing, you're going to look better. When you do this thing, you're going to feel good about yourself. When you do this thing, you're going to lay your head on your pillow at night and you're going to be proud of yourself. When you think about the people in your life congratulating you and saying, you did it. Wow, I'm so proud of you. Or uh, maybe some people, they just observe and they don't say anything, and it has to be your internal voice cheering you on. That's okay. So, this is the self-discipline pep talk, I guess, and I'm calling it a pre-talk because I think it's going to be helpful for the next episodes. I think they're going to be 215 is going to be daytime. 216 is going to be the sleep version with the extended sleep music and no emergence. And if you want to turn the volume up on your self-discipline, turn the volume up on your self-respect, you just bring an intention to that session. Um, it- as you know, my sessions are generally content free, meaning I'm not going to tell you specifically what to do. Your brilliant unconscious mind, your bum, it already knows. It already knows what you want to do, and it's going to fill in the blank. So you don't have to worry about sessions being so specific. Just bring, like I always say, like BYOB, like BYOP, bring your own problem, or even better, right? Flip that, BYOG, bring your own goal. So I'll just end there. BYOG, bring your own goal. Check out the next sessions. They're about self-discipline. They're really trancy. They're really relaxing. They offer you a detached perspective so that you can observe yourself, so you can impress your mind, so that you can make self-discipline one of your very best friends. Okay, that is